time to answer all your questions from the Q&A video. Roll it. Welcome back. But before I begin, first I'd like to give a huge thanks for all of your questions, and of course for participating. Honestly, I got more questions than I expected, and this is my first time doing a Q&A, so I wasn't sure how well this was going to be received. But you all surprised me yet again. First question is from Conception. Conception asks, how tall are you? Normally I would be a smartass and answer this question with a question and say, how tall do I look? Or more suitable for this case, how tall do I sound? But I will save my smartassery for another time. So Conception, to answer your question, I'm 6'4", which in centimeters is 193 or 194. I had to Google that. So I'm pretty tall. And the weather up here is slightly different. So thanks for your question. Next question is by Terry Mills, and he asks me where my accent is from. I was aware I had an accent, since we all have an accent to someone who isn't where you are from. So surprise, if you think you don't have an accent, now you know you do have an accent. So my accent has caused confusion in the past. I'm not even sure what it sounds like, to be honest, besides sexy, of course. So my accent is a mixture of Greek, Canadian, and maybe some variations from other countries in the mix, because I worked at tourist destinations for around 20 years and spoke to all sorts of people on the regular. Maybe some of their twangs got into mine. Who knows? So probably a Greek-Canadian accent, but my Greek accent when speaking English isn't as apparent because my English is better than most Greeks, because I'm just, simply that awesome. Hope that answers your questions, Terry, and thank you for participating. Next question is by Aaron NW. He asks, is cereal a soup? Of course, cereal isn't a soup. Cereal isn't hot. I'm no authority on soups or cereal, but dictionary.com defines soup as a liquid food made by boiling or simmering meat, fish, or vegetables with various added ingredients. I think you're trolling, but on the off chance that you were being serious, now you know that it isn't soup. Thanks for your question. Next question is from Kenny Bird. What inspires you to continue creating content every day? That, Kenny, is a great question, and I hope you don't mind me calling you Kenny. Not that you can do anything about it or even stop me. Hell, I can call you all sorts of things right now from the safety of my computer, but I won't. Despite what some people try to paint me out to be, I'm actually half decent. So what inspires me to create content? What inspired me originally was to help people be better rogues. I started by posting builds a few years back, and only builds. Then, as time went by, I went through various phases of creation on YouTube. But my main inspiration is to help people. If I can help anyone in any way, if I can put a smile on someone's face for any reason, then I feel obligated to do it. And to be honest, I feel this very strongly. Maybe it's because I'm trying to be a better person. Maybe it's because I've hurt people in my life. Maybe my real life and the crap I've been through makes me want to give back, because I've been helped so many times in my life. Maybe that's why I use humor in my videos, to give someone a smile or a laugh if I can. And I love what I am doing on YouTube, even if it's only Neverwinter related. That's why I put so much effort into my editing. Nobody forces me to do it, and I'd save hours and hours if I didn't edit at all, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I need to make my creations or videos worthy of your subs and viewership. So ultimately what inspires me is you, and my drive to help and make people laugh or smile. Hope that answers your question. Next question is from Sean Peel, and I'm only going to reply to the bottom portion of this because the rest is Neverwinter related, but the bottom portion he says, and are you bald, bearded, or wearing space underwear? That's a funny yet slightly perverted question, but I will answer it the best I can. So fortunately, I do have a full set of hair. And as you see in the pictures that are going to pop up in your screen. So fortunately, I do have a full set of hair. No bald spots or retreating hairlines, so I'm not going bald anytime soon. And I also don't like beards, but I do like stubble. Stubble makes me look manly and shit. At least in my imagination it does. And also my underwear has tons of space in it. Well, not really, but don't take what I just said seriously. And also I'm not sure if I will check the Mirage set anytime soon. I have tons of video projects lined up, but I might if I can. So hope that answers your question, Sean Peel. Thank you very much for asking them. Next question is from a longtime friend, Saint Inks, which is Daz Fizzler in game. He asks who took his place, and by the way, what new setup did I get for replacement or upgrade PC-wise, and what do you use when you stream or edit? My dear friend, nobody can ever take your place as my redheaded stepson, so don't get your hopes up. As far as my new PC setup goes, I now have an RTX 3070 graphics card with 16GB of RAM, and with that, a kick-ass Logitech mouse, a Yeti X microphone, and Sennheiser headset. Sennheiser, however you say it. To stream, I use both versions of OBS, the normal version and Streamlabs OBS. And to edit, I use a lot of programs. I mostly use these 6 when I edit my videos: Filmora, Handbrake, Photoshop, After Effects, Premiere Pro, and Adobe Illustrator. I don't use them all at once, but I do occasionally find myself using 3 or 4 of them at any time, just depending on what I need. So did I answer your question, stepchild? Anyway, I miss you, dude, and I hope you come back one day. Next question is from Downloading. Why Cryptic/Neverwinter has no devs? I get where you're going with this, but I will simply answer Cryptic does have devs, and so does Neverwinter. Hope that answers your question. Next question is from Jeff Zeeler. How do you stay positive? Did you come that way out of the box, or do you put effort towards it? Jeff, I'm actually a very positive person, unless something really upsets me or angers me. Then I just tend to lose all my positivity all at once. But I'd like to think I'm an intelligent Homo sapien, and I try and learn from my mistakes and better myself. Now, even when I'm upset, I try to be more logical and not let my emotions get the better of me. Must be, my Greek blood. But yeah, I've learned to control my emotions and be more constructive. And to be honest, I don't always succeed, as the fight to becoming a better version of myself is a never-ending one. So in short, I did come out of the box positive, but sometimes I do have to put more effort into it depending on the circumstance. Sometimes there are those situations where being positive isn't even possible, just the way it is. Hope this answers your question, Jeff, and thank you for asking. Next question is from Safer Almasi. I hope I didn't butcher your name. And he's asking a 2-part question. What do you think about Greece in the Eurovision? And 2, do you like the Eurovision? And if you do, what do you think about visiting Greece? Okay, so to answer your question, first maybe you need to know that I am actually Greek myself. I lived in Greece until 2013, when then I moved to Montreal, Canada. So I used to watch Eurovision, back when Sakis Rouvas was 3rd, I think, and Elena Paparizou was winning 1st place. I haven't since been following Eurovision that much. I really didn't need to visit Greece since I'd lived there almost my whole life. I lived in Piraeus, I lived on Rhodes Island for a time, and Santorini Island for an even longer time. So I hope that answers your questions, and I hope Greece wins the Eurovision again. I mean, I am Greek after all. Next question is from Emerald Venom. What kind of music do you like to listen to? Who doesn't love music? So my favorite music has always been classic rock and rap/hip hop. I love lyrical rap even more, and I can't stand mumble rap at all because, I need substance, a meaning to the lyrics. That's why I also love classic rock. I mean, sure, I enjoy a good beat like anyone else, but as far as favorites, here are some samples of my favorite songs.
The music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. Day in the year of the fox came a time remembered well.
So you think you could tell?
When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears.
Hope this answers your question. Next question is from Infinity Reaper. What's your favorite Forgotten Realms race and favorite monster? I've always liked elves, to be honest. Like, always. And I liked them even more after I saw Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So I guess elves are my favorite, which some of you might find odd since I play a dragonborn in Neverwinter. But yeah, elves are my favorite. And as far as monsters goes, I don't really have any favorite monsters. So yeah, that's my answer. Next question is from Eosin Dreyar, and I probably butchered your name too. He asks, which religion were you born in? Which religion do you follow, if any? And are you willing to learn about Jesus in case you do not follow any religion? Well, actually, I was born into Christianity, to be exact, Greek Orthodox. I am Christian, but I respect all religions and beliefs. I already know about Jesus, but I can always learn more. In fact, when I was younger, I actually researched Christianity for a time. I guess I was trying to figure out who I was, where I fit in. Anyways, I hope this answers your questions. Next question is from Steve Antonio. Can you explain how you overcame your past anger and angry rants? Well, the answer isn't very complicated, and it could be complicated too at the same time. I simply just realized that being angry wasn't helping anyone. It wasn't helping my cause, my viewers, my goals, and myself. People enjoy watching people who rage and rant about something. It could be a valid reason or a non-valid one. They enjoy the drama and the chaos. It's just in our nature as humans, which, if you think about it, is pretty scary to think we are like that. If you had a choice to watch a calm conversation between two individuals and a huge fight between another two, what would you watch? Most would watch the fight. It's sad, but it's true. In my case, even though I had many valid points, I lost a lot of them due to ranting, raging, and complaining 24/7, especially in the manner I was doing it. I had to take a step back and think, reevaluate a few things and what I am trying to achieve. So it resulted in me wanting to start fresh, a new beginning of sorts. So I deleted over 350 videos, which I now regret because only around 10 or 20 of them were ranty. The rest were actually useful, guides and whatever. But still, at the time, I wanted to start fresh, start anew. Back then, not to seem like I'm making up excuses, but I was going through some hard times. I lost my father to cancer and some other people, and my way of handling it was by not handling it. It was by, lashing out. Since then, I've lost a lot more people and had rougher times, but I'm not raging. I'm taking a deep breath and thinking before I speak or act. Now I'm more calm. I am more constructive and think about everything a couple of times before bringing my opinion or voice to the foreground. I can still criticize or voice my opinions without being toxic, and my work is slowly starting to pay off. My change is paying off. I'm getting more friends, more people who sub to my channel, more people who value my channel and me as a person. And of course, there are those who miss the old me, but it's not me they miss. It's the drama and the chaos. I could say so much more, but I appreciate that people are recognizing my change, and I will continue to bring my goofiness to the table. Hope this answers your question, and sorry for the long answer. Next question is by Rum Butter. What's your favorite quote or saying? Simple answer, one of my favorite quotes, because I have a lot of them, is "You must be the change you wish to see in the world," by Gandhi. Next question is from Fighter Killer 13. What type of food do you eat on a regular basis? I love gyros, pizza, and feta cheese. I eat those as often as I possibly can. If I could live in a gyro factory, I would. I couldn't be more Greek than that, can I? Next question is by Blackstar. Do you have a beard? No, I don't have a beard. I never grow beards, but I enjoy stubble, as I showed in a picture previously in a previous question. Not sure if having a beard or having stubble is better, but personally I prefer stubble. So I stubble it. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Next questions are by AJS. He actually has a few of them. 1. Why did you choose the name Galactic Underwear? 2. Food you detest. 3. Food you absolutely have to have. 4. If you could go anywhere in this world, where would you go? And 5. What is the color of a mirror? Alright, let's start. The name Galactic Underwear was chosen for a few reasons. It wasn't my original name. My original name was #badnamed, which means they force you to change your name because it's rude or insulting. My original name was Your Mom is My Epic Mount. Yeah, I know, it's hilarious, which I found to be extremely funny, but I can see how people would be offended by it. So then, when I had to change my name, I wanted to add a name that portrayed me as a person, which you might find funny. I mean, being named Galactic Underwear portrays who you are? Well, it actually does. The galactic part of my name is because of my undying love and fascination with space, with the universe, and everything related to it. One of my childhood dreams was to become an astronaut, actually. But I didn't want to just be called Galactic in the game. I also like to think I have a great sense of humor, so I always wanted to convey that message through my name. So I decided to add underwear. I mean, it is a funny name that also shows I like space, but it's kind of like a double entendre at the same time, because Galactic is about space, and in my underwear I have all kinds of space. Well, not really, but it's about the humor. So it also shows my sense of humor. Some might find it childish at first glance, but I really don't think it is. Second question, food I detest. The food I detest is pretty easy. I hate liver. I absolutely hate the smell, the texture, and the taste of it. And if there's one thing that can make me throw up, it's liver. Simply yuck. Food I have to have. I have many foods I have to have, and I already covered my favorites. Well, at least some of them. Food I have to have is feta cheese. It's like drugs to me, honestly. Next question. If I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go? I'm glad you specified world, because if it was up to me, I'd go to space. But in the world is a very difficult question because I'd love to go to many places, and I already have been to at least 20 countries. So I will answer with multiple places. Hope that's okay. One of the places I'd like to visit is Africa, and specifically where all the wild things are.
Find me where the wild things are.
I love lions, cheetahs, leopards, elephants, and all that wild stuff. Another place for the same reason would be Australia, the Outback I think it's called. But in general, Australia has tons of animals, even though most of them can and will kill your ass. I'd also like to visit China and Japan for the rich history and culture. Walking the Great Wall of China would just be heavenly. And then there's Egypt. I mean, who wouldn't want to visit the pyramids? When it comes to extremes, only two places I can think of that capture my imagination, but are very scary. I'd love to go to the bottom of the Mariana Trench and see what crazy life forms are down there. And I'd also like to be on top of Mount Everest. If for a moment I could just be on top of the world, just so I could admire the view in our magnificent planet, I would definitely do that. Then you asked what is the color of a mirror. If you go with facts, it turns out the majority of mirrors are actually green. Most mirrors that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, like the one over your bathroom sink, are composed of a soda lime silica glass substrate and a silver backing. But that's Google. Me, I think the color of a mirror is the color of each person's individual beauty, because like it or not, we are all beautiful. Hope I answered your question sufficiently. Next question is by Patrick Hederman. There is a family resemblance between you and the captain of mercenaries who live near our fortress. Are you a mercenary too? And if so, could we meet for a deal? Our alliance is always looking for public relations exercises. To answer your question, first of all, nobody resembles me. I'm a colorful sprinkle on a rainbow cupcake. I'm not a mercenary, but my capabilities are limitless. That's why I'm part of the Limitless Guild. And we can make a deal if the deal involves huge amounts of Greek food and mythic mounts. Hope that answers your question. Next question is from Planet Amis827. I hope I didn't butcher your name too. He asks how many times you laugh about yourself and start recording again. And second question is, are you okay? How do you feel? I actually laugh about myself all the time. You won't believe the random shit I come up with while I'm recording. And I also screw up a lot of words too, because my mind thinks fast, so I try to think about two things at once and then try to say them. And it never works. And yes, I'm very okay actually. I feel great. Thanks for asking. Next question is from Bruno Almeida. Do you think crossplay would be a good idea or no? I'm from Portugal, by the way. Love your videos. Thank you for the compliment, buddy. But for a second there, I almost thought you were asking if we can cross-dress. I'd be like, no, not my thing. But yes, crossplay would be amazing. It would unite all the platforms, making the game more active, more people to play with and socialize. I mean, MMOs are about socializing and having fun with others. Sadly, I don't think that would ever happen, but here's to hoping they do. And I'm sorry Greece beat you in 2004 in the Euro Cup final.
Greece are the champions of Europe, the ultimate outsiders at the start of the tournament.
Had to throw that in there, you know. Next question is by Falcon. I used to think players were more intelligent and reactive people. Looking at Neverwinter community, my whole idea changed. Is there any other community of players that have been exploited so much? All I have done for a long time is collected diamonds from the market and give gifts to other players I have never met, which is my fun. To be honest, I wouldn't be the right person to answer that question because I haven't played that many MMOs, so I can't really compare. Every game I would assume, in quotations, exploits, as you call it, their players to make money. I'm not sure I'd use the terms exploits because that would come from a dark place. But I do understand and can relate because I have been there multiple times. You know, that dark place. I think I own that dark place actually. So to be 100% honest, I have no idea if there is another community of players who has been exploited as much as Neverwinter players, as you call it. Originally, I wasn't going to even answer the question because this is Q&A about me and not Neverwinter, but I answered it anyways. Thank you for your question, my friend. Next question is by Jamie. Do you play D&D or any other role-playing games? My answer is pretty simple and will probably surprise most people. Nope, I haven't played any D&D or any other role-playing games. Shocking, I know, but very true. So I hope that answers your question. Next question is by B-Man. Other than being a content creator, what other professions have you done or are doing? B-Man, the professions, if you can call them that I was doing for most of my life was first bartending. I did that for over 15 years. Then I became a beach bar manager in Santorini Island, Greece. Yeah, I know, that clip. That's where I lived. Believe it or not, it is paradise. You should visit. And I miss it like crazy. Then me and my family owned a 3-star hotel on that island, which was the island in that clip. And I used to be a semi-professional soccer player as well. Football, as they call it in Europe. I was one of the biggest Greek hopes and played the striker position. So a scorer basically. But I ruined my own career by drinking too much, partying too much, and loving women too much. So I wasn't really making the necessary sacrifices for the sport I loved and to become something more. And drinking too much back then also resulted into me almost dying from alcohol at the age of 18. Yeah, it's true. True story. Then my soccer career took a downward spiral, so that never really turned into my main profession. And it's funny to think I could have potentially become famous and a well-known footballer / soccer player. I messed up and it's nobody's fault but my own. Those were my main professions for most of my life. Hope that answers your question. Next question is by my ex-girlfriend and now great friend, Braylon. Braylon says, not a question, but congrats on all your new subs / followers. You put a lot of time and energy and attention into your vids, and I'm happy for you that you're getting the recognition that you deserve for it. Now the questions, and she warns me not to be afraid. I'm not afraid. First question she asks is, what are your favorite memories of your time in Neverwinter? Second, what is something that you can't live without? And third, what are you most proud of and what is your biggest regrets? First off, thank you very much for your kind words about my channel, and now let's get into answering your questions. What are my favorite Neverwinter memories? It's really hard to find just one. Most of my great memories in Neverwinter came back when I was creating groups and doing 60 Cradle of the Death God runs a day for those enchanting stones. It wasn't about Cradle itself, but the 15-20 people that used to hang out with me in my Discord voice channel back then. They were good times, and for me, one of the most memorable. I'm sure there's more, but the video would go on forever if I continue. A thing I can't live without is probably my morning coffee. I love having coffee in the morning, and I get grumpy if I don't get my daily dose of caffeine. Not a unique answer, but a true one. My proudest moment, though, is when I took care of my father when he was fighting and slowly dying from cancer. I'm proud that I could be there and help him with everything he needed. I'm proud that I could be next to him and make sure he wasn't alone during his ordeal. I wish he didn't have to go, but he did. And I hope he's proud of me, wherever he is. I love you, Dad, wherever you are. Whew, sorry about that. My biggest regret is ruining my sports career, like I said earlier. Ruined my dreams and future for the sake of drinking, partying, and sex. I'm such a dumbass. But hope that answers all your questions, Bray. Thank you for asking them and participating and making me remember my dad and cry. No, seriously, thank you for your questions. Very nice of you. Next question is by Ouija. Where do I even start? Do you lick your plate? If a 5-year-old took over your body, what would happen first? Name your most useless talent, and what's the most ridiculous fact you know? Well, to answer your question, Ouija, yes, I do lick my plate. I always have, and I always will. If a 5-year-old took over my body, the first thing I would do is reach for the cookies Mom has hidden way up there. Most useless talent, I can catch food thrown at me from any distance with my mouth 9 out of 10 times. The most ridiculous fact I know is it's impossible to hum while holding your nose. Go ahead, try it. Anybody here? Anybody watching? Try it. Try to hum while holding your nose. And also another fact, mosquitoes are first attracted to carbon dioxide and not your blood. Ever wonder why they always circle your head and buzz around your ears? Now you know. Thanks for the questions, Ouija. Appreciate it. Next question is another good friend of mine from France, Chefi Alinala. How many times on average do you say roll it per day? What are the 3 countries you want to visit and haven't yet? And in one sentence for each, why? I actually say roll it 2 or 3 times a day depending on how many videos I have to make, which makes sense. As far as what are the 3 countries I want to visit and haven't yet, I did answer this partially in an earlier comment, but my 3 favorites would be in no particular order: China, Japan, and probably Australia. China for the Great Wall and the rich history and culture, the same reason for Japan. I love both those cultures, and being Greek, we can appreciate countries with a huge history, and Australia for its beauty and wildlife, and of course its amazing people. I could add Africa here too, but you only said 3. I can actually add many countries if I'm totally honest. I could even add yours, but I've already been to yours, so I can't really add it. So I hope this answers your questions, Chefi. Thank you for asking them. Next question is from a very special girl to me, Nikita NW. She asks, number 1, if you were invisible for a day, what would you do? What's the secret ingredient that makes your feet so attractive? Number 3, you have 3 wishes from a genie. Go. That last one isn't really a question, but I guess you meant if I had 3 wishes, what would I wish for? So if I was invisible for a day, I'd probably go to Area 51 and find out for myself once and for all what the hell they have down there. Aliens, spaceships, all of it. And then I'd show the world because, I'm an asshole like that. So yeah, I'd do that. And as far as your second question, I don't know what makes my feet so attractive. I think they just look like feet and you are just goofy for liking them, I guess. And for your last portion, if I had 3 wishes, what would they be? First of all, my wish wouldn't be selfish. So my first wish would probably be for world peace, like forever. Like no more war. My second would probably be no more world hunger. I think people have suffered enough. And food should be available to every person regardless of where they are from and who they are. And my third wish would be for everybody to have 3 wishes. But none of the wishes can be used for selfish reasons or for evil. So does that answer your questions, you foot fetish lover? Thanks for the questions, Nikita. Thanks for the questions, Nikita. Next question is from Smelly Eggs. Tea or coffee? And do you feel like your audience is here for you or the game you play? Coffee. Of course, coffee. I'm not a huge fan of tea. Never was. And when I moved to the United Kingdom back when I used to be engaged to an English woman, I never drank it. I always had coffee. And I probably most likely was the only one that was having coffee for miles around. Everywhere I went, it was just me having coffee. And as far as your second portion of your question, I'd like to think people are here for me, but I think many people are actually here for the information or content. Then once people get to know me, then maybe it turns into being here for me. I don't know. I really don't know. But either way is fine. I appreciate everybody regardless of the reasons. But if it was for me, it would definitely make me feel better than if it wasn't. Means as a person, I am having an impact, not just the information and videos, if that makes any sense at all. Thanks for your question. Next question is from Shafat Chowdhury. I probably murdered your name too. I'm doing that a lot today in this video. Hey, hope you're having a great day. So I noticed you use the music track Rise in your videos, which is from League of Legends. I'm curious if you play the game. If not, are you willing to play and upload some on the channel? Would love to see your reactions on the game. Well, I was and am a huge fan of Dota. I played all through the Dota 1 years. I followed the tournaments and the teams and played endless hours, maybe 12 a day or more sometimes. And then when it turned into Dota 2, I played even more, up until about 2 years ago, around there. And that's where I stopped. Just couldn't find enough time for it. My favorite characters were Mariana, Pudge, and Spectre. League of Legends, or LoL as we call it, came from the concept of Dota. Some of the Dota developers went to LoL, and then LoL is what it is today. I was more of a Dota fan, and only tried LoL a few times. It was fun, but when I compared it to Dota, I just thought it wasn't as good, at least for my taste, so I didn't continue. Now, would I play it now? I would if I had the time, but I rarely do. Believe it or not, most of my days are filled with editing videos and formulating video concepts. Oh, and the song Rise is literally awesome. That's why I use it, and I use it a lot. So, thanks for your questions, and I hope I answered them well. Next question is from a really good friend of mine, Hekate Kiri Azazel. Okay, here are some more or less questions for your Q&A. Why have you or any other content creator from Neverwinter never ever have tested hardware performance differences for the game and its impact, or the connection speed impact on actual numbers, e.g. DPS? Then he asks what keeps you interested and motivated in Neverwinter, since it is a very repetitive game after all. What is your most negative aspect of your personality, and what was your worst experience in the game? What have you been excited about the most after all the years in Neverwinter, and what have you most been disappointed with? And the last, why the hell am I asking you questions? I hate you. Take care, my friend, and don't be a stranger. I love you too, dude. For your first question, I'm not sure why I haven't tested hardware performance. I personally never even thought about it, so that answers that. At the moment, the main thing that keeps me interested in Neverwinter is helping Neverwinter players through my YouTube channel and my friends. I have a hope that Neverwinter will return to a former glory, even if it's with a new system. We'll see how that turns out in the long run. But yeah, basically the content I create and my friends keep me interested for the most part. The most negative aspect of my personality, I think, is probably two things. One, that I get triggered easily, which I've worked on and I'm much better at now than I was a year ago, for example. Another one is I tend to talk over people sometimes. But I promise you, it's not because I want to be rude. I get so excited with what I want to say that I can't even contain it. So I just start talking. It's literally excitement based, not because I want to cut someone off. I'm also getting better at that as well, slowly but surely. My worst experience in game. My bad experiences usually go hand in hand with people assuming the worst of me and judging me without knowing me. For example, I've been called many things like elitist, arrogant, etc. But once people get to know me, they usually change their mind. But there are some people who will always think bad of you, no matter what you do. Like the usual 5 or 6 people who always dislike my videos instantly. It just is what it is. I was most excited about the Redeemed Citadel. The concept of the episodes was fascinating to me and unique to Neverwinter in general. It turned out to be fun but very repetitive. And you know I grinded the fuck out of the Citadel since we did most of that together through all 4 episodes. So if they work on that concept and make it less repetitive, it will be way more fun in the future. My biggest disappointment was Module 16 and the scrapping of everything we knew. I get the idea of change, but in my heart that change will always be the worst thing that happened to me in Neverwinter. The old combat system, despite its flaws, was extremely fun. Thanks for all your questions. Take care. And for the last question is from another great friend of mine who recently became a father, and he named his daughter Galactic Underwearness, or Underwearess, or screw it, she's an angel. Congratulations on being a goofy dad. So David asks me, when are we going to have a beer, Uncle D? First of all, don't call me Uncle D because it just sounds all kinds of wrong. And to answer your question, whenever we find time and COVID goes away, we can make time and meet for a beer. I would literally love that. Yeah, so those are all the questions for my Q&A. I hope I answered each and every one of you. Sorry for getting emotional, but when it comes to my dad, I break down. I just break down. I can't handle it. But yeah, if you guys have any video ideas or video concepts you want me to make, let me know. Comment below if you enjoyed the answers, what you think. And I'm rambling for no reason. So yeah, first time doing Q&A. I think it went pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.